Update: I cheated on my husband, and now I suspect he's seeing another woman. Original post. I know I did something awful and disgusting, and when I couldn't take the guilt anymore, I cut off my affair partner and confessed everything to my husband. He got more upset and depressed than angry, and I begged for him not to divorce me. I proposed counseling, therapy, even allowing him to have sex with other women, but he wasn't interested. He said he wanted to try to work us out, and I jumped in being the best wife a man can ask for. I cook his favorite dishes, leave him loving notes, and bought new lingerie to entice him. His reactions are lukewarm at best. He smiles and thanks me, but not once has he said he loves me since I confessed. He barely initiates anything and I basically have to push myself on him, not that he complains. Sometimes we talk about this, but I think I still lost the man I love. His behavior with me feels very artificial and nothing changes his facade. I can be playful, I can be sad, I can get angry, and I can get seductive, but his reaction is always this stupid smile and polite words. He was so emotional and sincere before all of this happened. I want him to let out his true emotions with me, even if he hates me. I still love him so much. What can I do to fix this? Reading the top comments before the updates. You said you've tried everything, but that's not true. You haven't tried being patient. Don't pressure him into having sex with you to assuage your own guilt. That's not going to help him heal from the hurt you caused. You had an affair. The wound that inflicted runs deeply, and it will not heal overnight. If you want your marriage to work, you have to resign yourself to the fact that it could take years to repair the damage you've caused, and things may never be exactly as they were before. Give him time, and when he's ready, let him come to you and tell you what he needs from you to make this work. Don't try to push it or put pressure on him. If anything, that will just push him further away. The things you've been doing so far haven't been focused on helping him heal. They've been focused on helping you feel less guilty. Being selfish is what got you into this mess in the first place. You're just going to have to let yourself feel crappy for a while, and if you can't do that, you may as well just leave him. Exactly this. Her being a perfect wife sounds like a pathetic excuse to skirt around the problem and make her feel she's trying and showing she loves him just to make herself feel less guilty. She truly hasn't accepted accountability, and isn't trying to figure out why she strayed. Otherwise, what's to say she does it again further down the line? Her list of things to show she loves him she doesn't understand that means F all to her husband as she still cheated on him for months. If she's focused on him getting better she'd ask him what he wants, rather than do stuff she thinks will help. She's love-bombing him, which is a manipulative tactic to make him stay. She's scared of him leaving rather than ashamed of what she's done to him in their marriage. She deserves to feel crap for a while. She doesn't even seem to comprehend that however she feels, he feels it 100,000 times more intensely as he is the one who got cheated on. You killed the joyful, sincere, emotional man. Do you understand? That man is dead, gone. I've felt it myself. Betrayed by the woman that I thought was my actual soulmate. Yeah, that's how fast it dies. I tried, for about a year, but I could never find that man again, and couldn't forgive her. He'd be a true saint if he were able. No, I don't want to believe this. He's still in there somewhere. First update. He knows I cheated. We didn't separate, and I begged him not to divorce me and to let me fix this. He agreed, but his behavior since my confession has basically been one of indifference. Like I wrote in my last post, I do my best to be the best wife he could ask for. I cook his favorite foods, get him gifts, screw his brains out every night. He just smiles and thanks me. He acts kind and never yells at me, but I feel his icy indifference under that mask of courtesy. 2 weeks ago, he started coming home late. Very late. And when he does, he just goes to bed. I asked him what's going on, and he told me, in the kindest way possible, that it's not my business. I call him when he stays out, and he picked up only once. I heard a woman laughing in the background. I'm starting to think he's cheating back on me. It effing hurts. If he told me, at least I would do my best to stomach it. I deserve this, after all. But he won't tell me, he just shuts me out. A common friend told me she spotted him in a car with a woman she didn't recognize, and this felt like a stab in the heart. She said she couldn't describe her exactly because she wore big sunglasses, but she recognized my husband because of his particular taste in neckties. They were talking, but my friend said that from their position, it looked like they were holding hands or one of them was touching the other's lap. I don't know what to do. If he is having an affair, I deserve it, but I need to know. The uncertainty is killing me. Should I confront him? Should I try to find out more? Reading the top comments before the update. Just ask him. You hurt him, and now he's hurting you. I don't believe your marriage is salvageable at this point if he's cheating to get back at you. He won't talk to me. 20 years. He's dissociating from you. Probably seeing someone else. But regardless, it's over. Sounds like you've been reduced to a roommate, yes? Not even a roommate, someone said I've been reduced to a bangmaid. Your marriage is over. Move on. And oh no. If it isn't the consequences of your own actions. Second update. He left me. I did like you guys said and begged him to talk to me. He didn't want to, but I cried and yelled so much I puked all over. He got softer with me, he helped me clean up, and we talked. I asked him if he was cheating on me and he said he was talking with someone but didn't do anything with her. I asked if she was the woman my friend saw him with. He thought on it a little but said no, it was another woman whom he met a month ago in his office. I asked him how he could and said I gave him permission, and he didn't do anything besides unloading his problems and our situation with her. But he played it like he was having a full affair so I could feel what he felt, especially because according to him I neglected him and made it obvious I was cheating on him. He said he was suffering and I was almost rubbing it in his face. I told him I wasn't doing it on purpose and he said this was even worse because I didn't care at all. He said that everything I did after confessing meant nothing and just made him think I am selfish, self-centered, and lack any sort of self-respect. I asked him if we could work on myself and our marriage, but he said we can have counseling to sort ourselves out, but the marriage is over. He said he wishes no ill on me, and decided to cut his charade because he could no longer bear to see the woman he once loved suffer like that. But he said I am no longer that woman. I started sobbing again and he held me, but he kept saying no when I asked him we work this out. I asked him what he was going to do and he's moving out, he already found a new place. I asked him if he was going to live with that woman and he said no, but she was close enough. I asked him how he could pick a total stranger he met a month ago over his wife of 5 years. He said his wife of 5 years no longer exists, he has to pick between two strangers, and that woman made a much better impression on him. I told him he was a fool and he could not know this woman will probably use and dump him. He got harsh and said she's better than me for sure. He said he won't say to our families our marriage ended because I cheated, but because we grew apart and that he will leave the house to me as long as I make the divorce smooth. But if I try to take him to the cleaners, drag it out, or cause any problem he will tell everyone what I did and destroy me and my reputation. This happened yesterday and he has already packed up almost everything. I can't stop crying and I can't believe this is happening. This is horrible and unfair. Third update. This feels like a nightmare. I keep telling myself it's not real and that I'm going to wake up. My husband moved out 2 weeks ago, ostensibly to live with another woman. But I kept an eye and ears on him, had some friends tell me about his goings-on, and seemingly there was no other woman at all. I thought, I hoped, he was just collecting his thoughts and that he would come back to me. But today he did it. He had me served. I don't want to believe he's done with us. I love him so much, and I miss him every day. Last update. My husband and I are getting divorced because of my infidelity, and I realized I could have tried to salvage our marriage if I had done things differently after I confessed. Instead, my behavior just pushed him further away and resulted in us getting divorced. We've talked a couple of times since he moved out and I got served. He says that if I keep this level of civility, we can keep talking and not have to go exclusively through lawyers for communication, although we still have to for the divorce. I apologized for everything I've done. And as much as I don't want a divorce, I'll go along with anything he wants to demonstrate that I do love him. Even after the divorce, my door will always be open for him. He said he actually believes me, and although he's not changing his mind about our divorce, he wishes for me to find happiness. He wanted to leave me to the house, but I don't want it due to the memories, so we agreed to sell it off. My lawyer tried to talk me into pursuing all kinds of stuff from my husband to get more. But I told them I don't want that and that I can find another lawyer if they want to pursue that path. I'm taking time off work for myself, and although I am not better, it helps to feel a little less sucky. I heard from the grapevine that my husband is indeed in a new relationship, and at this point, I just hope this woman is making him happy and helping him heal. As for myself, I just want to focus on my new life and rebuilding what I can. On to the next story. Update. My fiancée was accused by her friend/maid of honor of stepping out on me. My fiancée claims she's trying to sabotage our relationship. I'm lost and questioning everything. How do I move forward? Original post. My relationship with my fiancé has kinda blown up. I've never felt this unsure in our relationship. I'm in need of outside perspectives. For context, we're college sweethearts. During orientation, I was touring campus, and she was my group's tour guide. That's how we met. She's my first love and best friend. Now we're in the height of wedding planning. About a couple of years ago, we had a rough patch with her shutting down and pushing me away. She wanted to take a break so she could find herself again. I don't believe in breaks. I wanted to work through it together, but her mind was made up. So I agreed. We established boundaries for the break. We wouldn't see other people, and we were to have checkups about where we were emotionally. The goal was to reinforce our foundation. The break was only a month. We bounced back stronger, but it's still a sore spot. The break was the most distant we'd ever been, and the experience highlighted why I'm against it. Recently, my fiancé had a bad falling out with a mutual friend and maid of honor, who I'll call Joss for clarity. Some nasty stuff was said, and Joss accused my fiancé of being a bridezilla and an even worse friend. I hoped the rift between them would mend because they were close for a long time. They were like sisters. But my fiancé kicked Joss out of the wedding and uninvited her. The damage seemed to be done for both. The other day, Joss reached out to me and said that my fiancé wasn't being completely truthful. She revealed that not only did my fiancé see other guys during the break, but she also hooked up with someone on their annual girls' trip. She gave the guy's name, but I don't know who he is. On the trip, my fiancé's group linked up with another they clicked with. Joss said it was clear the guy had an eye for my fiancé, and eventually, she and he began wandering off. My fiancé ignored Joss's attempts at talking her down. It was a lot to take in. My initial instinct was to shut Joss down. Up until this point, I trusted my fiancé fully, but I couldn't overlook how much Joss's account matched my doubts from back then. Like I said, we were the most distant during our break. It wasn't on my part. There were times she was absent on our checkups. During the girls' trip that fell on our break, she went radio silent in a way she hadn't been on previous trips. There was truth to linking up with another group because my fiancé told me about it. She's still casually in touch with some of them. Right after the trip, she was gung-ho on calling the break off, saying it was a mistake and that she was in a better headspace. Joss claimed this was part of their falling out. She was pushing my fiancé to come clean with me before the wedding. She felt I deserved to know and wished she would have said something sooner. I didn't say much. I was too numb to really feel anything. I initially didn't confront my fiancé. I was trying to process, but she could tell something was wrong and kept asking. When I did confront her, she was a whirlwind of emotions. She mostly ranted about Joss, but I told her this was her chance to tell her own story. She asked if I'd hear her out. I promised I would. She confessed to seeing other guys during the break but claims nothing happened. She also denies ever hooking up with anyone on the trip. I asked her why Joss would tell the truth about her seeing other guys, which alone thoroughly broke our boundaries, but make up an elaborate lie about her cheating on the trip. She insists Joss is trying to sabotage our relationship. She said the other guys meant nothing and that I'm the one she was in love with. It was like she wanted me to be grateful for being chosen. She promised to do anything to regain my trust. She said we're starting our lives together and that I shouldn't let Joss come between us. I wasn't very receptive to her. We fought, and I told her I needed to think. Ever since, she's been pouring on so much affection. She still swears she never hooked up with anyone on the girls' trip and that Joss is just trying to sabotage. But I can't shake the possibility that Joss is telling the truth. All of this has blown up while we're in the middle of wedding planning, invites already delivered, venue booked, catering arranged, suits, dresses, everything. I feel so numb. I'm in love with my fiancé. She's my best friend. It feels wrong to doubt her, but I'm questioning everything. Even myself. I don't know what to believe anymore. I feel like an idiot. How do I move forward, for myself and for my relationship? Reading the top comments before the update. I was prepared to call out the friend for being jealous, but after reading it all, I think she's telling the truth. I think your fiancé is trickling out the truth to you. She's only telling you what she thinks you'll forgive. She's lied and then realized she had to tell you a little bit. She's been lying since you got back together. Contact the other women who went on the trip and ask them as well. Check her phone for messages between the group from that time. Get tested. I'm considering reaching out to the other women. I don't know how open they'll be about it. I get along with them, but they're more of my fiancé's friends, and they've largely stayed out of the falling out. Sorry, dude. Joss sounds like she isn't trying to sabotage your relationship. I'm not sure what motivation she would have to do that. Your fiancé took your month-long break to F other guys. If you can get past that, go for it. If not, you need to get the ring back and move on. My fiancé's trying to say Joss is being bitter because she kicked her out of the wedding / uninvited her and that she's jealous. I don't know, I've known Joss for about as long as my fiancé, and she's never once come across as bitter or scheming. Update. Thank you to everyone who reached out. It helped give me much needed perspective. I wanted to give an update. I wanted a fuller picture before making a decision on anything with my fiancé. I knew her friends / bridesmaids would be a lost cause. I get along with them, but they're more of my fiancé's friends, and their group runs deep. They weren't going to talk at the expense of my fiancé. I asked Joss for more info and for evidence to her claims about my fiancé hooking up with someone on their girls' trip. She said my fiancé avoided talking about that particular trip, especially over text. Most of their arguments were in person, but she showed me texts from shortly after the trip where my fiancé confirmed hooking up with the guy. She texted how it's in her rearview mirror and she doesn't need a lecture about the past, she's focusing on the future. I knew the possibility, and my fiancé had already confessed to seeing other guys during our break, but I don't know, seeing those texts made it real in a way it wasn't before. In the texts, she expressed regret, but it didn't make me feel better. I confronted my fiancé, and I knew immediately by the look on her face. She came clean about everything. She thought Joss deleted the texts. Around the break, we were having serious talks about marriage. She started worrying she was missing out on stuff her single friends were engaging in. During the break, she sought validation from other guys and fooled around with that guy on the girls' trip. In her own words, she had a temporary high when he chased her but felt worse about herself post-hookup. She claims the break showed her what was important and that she wasn't missing out on anything. She was reassured we were right for each other. I hardly said anything to her. I mostly just listened. I was too numb for much else. She kept asking me to say something, but what was there for me to say? I felt her actions spoke enough for us both. She kept apologizing for stepping out. When I asked her why she wasn't upfront with me, she said she didn't want to lose me over her biggest mistake. Her position that Joss isn't being noble hasn't changed. I told her Joss's motive doesn't matter, the truth is the truth. She asked if I could find it in myself to move past this. She said she loves me and she's fully committed. I couldn't tell her what she wanted. I said it was best the wedding be put off and I needed space to sort my feelings. She was against postponing and proclaimed this didn't have to define us, and that she's still the same woman I wanted to marry. She asked me not to give up on us. But the same way her mind was made about the break, my mind was made about postponing. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't so much a fight, more putting everything out there. She cried a lot. She rarely cries. It felt wrong to leave her crying. My first instinct was to comfort her, but I was too broken to fake it. I've been hurt before, but she hurt me in a way only she could. I know postponing the wedding is for the best. The reason I didn't call it off entirely is because I'm way too deep in my emotions right now, hurt, anger, sadness, and somehow numbness. When possible, I try to avoid making decisions lost in emotion. I need to clear my head. I was so sure of my course and our relationship. My fiancée was my partner in every sense. She was who I wanted to make a life with. Sometimes she'd act so superior about our relationship compared to those of her friends. I feel so stupid. She says she's still the same person I love. But the fact is, she had a secret life I knew nothing about. I'm trying my best to understand that, but I'm at a complete loss. I'm not sure if I can move past this. All the guests have been informed of the postponement. Some questioned why, but I've been vague. I'm just too embarrassed. I feel bad for the guests too. Some with limited means already booked flights and hotels and took time off work for our wedding. That's how far we were in the home stretch. In some ways, it doesn't feel like my life. We were just together, wedding planning and discussing the honeymoon. The honeymoon was a surprise destination for her, someplace she's always wanted to visit. Now we're here. I don't know where to go or what the future holds. Thanks to everyone again for the support. It means a lot. She's the same person in her eyes, but not in yours, because you didn't know she was capable of treating you this way. Her stepping out when you were on a break is one thing. It may have been possible to overcome it. But her lying and gaslighting you is recent and is who she is. You cannot trust her to tell you the truth if she thinks a lie would serve her more. That's the kind of person she is, And she's proven it at least twice in this situation. She didn't just step out on the break, she initiated the break for the sole purpose of hooking up with other guys. The thing that caught my attention is that she still casually stays in touch with members of the other group. OP wasn't clear if her vacation hookup was one of the people she's still in contact with. Hard pass. Wow. I'm floored that fiancé still tried to blame this on her maid of honor instead of taking accountability for her own actions. You're right, she is not the same woman you were in love with. Hope you find peace. I agree. I'm really trying to understand the other side, but I'm just not seeing it. She's treating this as the past being drudged up. It's the past for her, but very much the present for me. I'm just finding all this stuff out. Even when I gave her the chance to tell her own story and promised I'd hear her out, which I meant, she still chose to withhold and give a version of the truth. I don't care what Joss's motive was when it doesn't change the fact that what she revealed was the truth. But my fiancé doesn't seem to want to accept that this has nothing to do with Joss. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's called taking responsibility for your actions. The fiancé has given herself a pass on her betrayal and, despite all the proof, still wants to throw someone under the bus for her own actions. She acts only for her own benefit, i.e., deciding she wants to screw some other guys to find clarity or whatever, then expects you to just forgive it. That's not how life works. Judge her by her actions and by the fact that she was never going to come clean. It may seem impossible, but you are still really young and can start over with someone who will act to your benefit, not just theirs alone. Joss did you a favor. Be sure to thank her.